Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So CraftDee. For today's DIY projects, we're going to be creating some beautiful home decor pieces using solid wood, all from the Dollar Tree. Now these projects have been finished with paint or antique wax, but of course you can customize these in whichever colors and styles that you choose. Now as always, all of the projects I create have a complete supply list in the description box, so you can easily use it for reference as you gather up your supplies. Now before we start, I have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you are a new visitor to my channel today, I hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy these crafts and see all of the different ways that you can display these in your space. So now let's just jump right into those projects today. Now this project is a wood tray stand decor piece. We're going to need one of these wood trays from the Dollar Tree. We're also going to need some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to start off with our tumbling tower blocks today. Go ahead and grab a carpenter square, and this is also available at the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to start off with joining 4 blocks together in a row as shown here. Now I do highly suggest that you guys use wood glue. You can use the Dollar Tree wood glue or any kind of wood glue you find at your hardware store, and this is the very best adhesive to use. Now for today's project, for my quick work, I am using my wood hot glue. Now this is just for a quick adhesion, but it isn't the strongest hold. Use wood glue, trust me. So we're going to go ahead and join these together really quickly, and we're going to join them end to end. Now you do want to make sure that you wipe away any hot glue that oozes out of the seams, and once you have your 4, go ahead and make 4 of these. So the next set is going to be 2 blocks joined together end to end. We're going to join these 2 blocks together, and we're going to make a total of 4 of these as well. So now that we have our pieces, we can make our stand. So go ahead and lay them up on their side. Don't lay them flat, lay them up on their side, and start joining them together by taking one of the 2 block pieces and joining them as an L in the corner. Then flip it around and join another 2 block piece in the other corner. Now once those are joined, grab that last 4 block piece at the bottom, add some of your glue, and then press that and hold it until that is bonded as well. Now this is one of the pieces you'll need, and this is a rectangle. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make another one of these, but we're only going to put 3 of the sides together for this. Now once your 3 sides together are glued, we are going to feed that rectangle through like a chain link and then close it in. Now this is very important to make this project work, so make sure you feed it together like a chain link all the way through so those 2 rectangles are kind of hooked together. Now once those are dry, we can form our X, and now you can see why we fed it through the way we did. Now we're going to join these together at the center seam, but we're going to use that tray as a guide to make sure the opening part of our X is fitting on the bottom of the tray. Now once we decide how wide we want our X, add some of that hot glue at that seam and kind of hold and adjust it, and you can use one of the Dollar Tree clips to kind of help you along. Go ahead and we're going to add that hot glue on the other side as well, and just press and hold and adjust it until that is solid as well. Again, make sure you're using your tray as a guide to make sure you're keeping everything nice and even. Now once your X is nice and dry, here is what it looks like, and we're just going to go ahead and paint it. Now I'm going to be using some black acrylic paint to paint it today, and we're only going to be needing 1 nice coat of it. This paint is really thick, so I really don't have any issues with having to follow up with coats, so you just want to go ahead and apply it all over the surfaces of that X. There won't be no raw wood shown in this project. Now here is the X all nice and covered on all sides, so just go ahead and sit this to the side to completely dry. Now while that is drying, we're going to go ahead and protect our work surface, and we are going to work on our tray. So we're going to be using some Waverly Antique Wax for this. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a little cup of water and an empty cup. Now what I'm going to be doing is adding some of my antique wax to one of those empty cups, and then adding about 1/3 of the amount of the water compared to the wax, and then mixing that up. I'm just trying to dilute the wax a little bit and stretch out the product so you'll have more to work with, and it'll it'll go on your project a lot easier. So now you can start applying it to your tray, and I'm just going to be using a paintbrush for this, and it's a nice smooth application, starting on the inside first and then working my way all the way to the outside. So here's my tray all nice and stained, and don't forget, follow up with a paper towel just to wipe away all of that excess. It gives it a nice smooth finish and allows your project to dry a lot faster. So once that is done, when they are allowed to dry, here are both of your pieces. So my initial thought with this was to join the X frame on the bottom of the tray. Now, if you want to do this, you can go ahead and add your glue to the two ends of the X and join it to the bottom of the tray. But the more I thought about it, the more I wanted these to be two separate pieces. So it's your choice whether you choose to join it as shown, or you can leave them separate. All you have to do is sit your tray on top of that X, and now it's on there, and then you can remove it as you like in case you want to style it differently. Now here is my wood tray design on display, and how adorable is this piece? Now, I've always loved the combination of the rich wood colors in black, and it really looks great in this piece. And then when you add a few succulents for some natural added beauty, it just tops it all off. I just love the way this piece is designed. Now, you can even do more with this, including removing that top tray. And once you do that, you have a standalone piece. So many options to try with this project today. Now this project is a staggered wood crate decor piece. We're going to be needing 3 of these wood crates from the Dollar Tree, and also some of these tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to start off with the tumbling tower blocks, and we are going to be joining sets that are going to be stacked together. So we're going to stack 2 blocks together here, and we are going to be making sure we join them together. And I will be using my wood hot glue, but as I mentioned before, definitely use wood glue whenever possible to make the strongest project. Now here I say you're going to need 2 of these 2 block sets. I want you to go ahead and make 4 of these. I found out later in the project I'll need 2 more of these, so go ahead and make 4 of these 2 block sets now. Now the next set of blocks we are going to join are going to be stacked as well, and this time we are going to join them together where we have 4 blocks stacked together. And for these, we are going to need 2 of these 4 block sets. And once they're all adhered together, here they are, ready to go. Now the last set of blocks we're going to need is we're going to go ahead and lay down 8 of our blocks. Now again, these are going to be stacked as well. These are going to be a double thickness because these will be legs on our project. So once we get those 8 blocks laid down, double stacked, then we are going to adhere those together as well. And we're going to be making 2 sets of these 8 blocks. Now here these are, all nice and adhered together and ready to go. So now we're going to take all of our adhered blocks over, and we are going to be painting these. Again, we're going to be using some of this black acrylic paint to paint these. Just make sure you put on one generous coat all over the blocks. You can choose to paint the bottoms and the tops if you like to, but you just want to make sure all of your blocks are covered on their outside surfaces. Here they are, ready to go. Just allow them to completely dry. Now while those are drying, we're going to go ahead and grab those 3 crates. Now again, we're going to be using that Waverly Antique Wax to stain these. Now you can use any stain or paint that you like. I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that wax to my little cup here, and I'm also going to be adding some more of that water to the cup. Now I'm just going to, it just kind of dilutes it just a little bit, and it stretches your product. We know that getting these products often can be quite expensive, so stretching them out does help, and plus it allows me to use my paintbrush. Now when you do mix it in, you want to mix it very well, and then apply it to start applying it to the inside of each one of your crates. Now once you get the insides coated really well, go ahead and do this for the outside. Now here's my crate all stained. Follow up with that paper towel to remove all of the excess stain. Now we're going to repeat this process for your other 2 crates. Now here are all 3 crates, all nice and stained, wiped away and ready to go. And now just allow them to completely dry. So now we're getting ready to build our staggered wood crate decor piece. So I'm laying out my grid mat as a guide, and I strongly recommend that you use this because it helps everything even in the end. So I'm grabbing all of my painted pieces. And then I'm going to start with the bottom crate here. So what I'm going to do is add the 2 longest pieces of those tumbling tower blocks to the inside edges on the outside of the crate. So as you can see, I'm going to add them to the outer side, but I'm putting them on the inside edges. This will be the outside support for our stand. So we're going to lay this against the other crate at the top, and then we're going to join that to the top crate. So add a generous amount of that glue there, and then press that top crate right in the corners to make sure that those pieces line up. Now the middle piece will have the 2 legs that are 4 blocks each. So you just want to add one of those to each outside edge of that center crate. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm making sure that everything will be nice and even. Now, in order to do this, go ahead and grab a ruler. I found that this helps. Lay the bottom of that crate to the ruler and the bottom of the legs on the other side to make sure that everything will line up nice and even and sit correctly. So now what we're going to do is take the 2 shorter pieces, these are the 2 block sets, and add them to the other side of the crate that you added your 4 block sets to. And we're going to be adding these, this end of the crate will be going slightly inside that first crate as I've shown here. So in order to make sure it stays in place, add some glue to the bottom of those short legs, stick those inside that bottom crate and adhere them, making sure the legs on one end match the bottom of the crate on the other end so your item will sit evenly. So this is where I determined I needed 2 more sets of blocks for that other gap I have there. This is something I just totally missed in the beginning, and this is why I told you guys to make 2 more extra blocks. So here I'm just going to add some glue to the top and the side, and then I'm going to stick these in and join them to the bottom of that crate and on the inside of the crate below. And this way they'll have the support that they need and they'll be equally spaced apart. So once that dries, all of your pieces are now adhered together, and this is what your solid piece will look like. So now what I'm going to do is follow up with some of these craft sticks. Now I had a bunch of these craft sticks already stained in my stash, and I'm just hot gluing segments of them over the holes in the crate. Now this is totally optional, but I just think it gives it a finished look if you cover up those holes, and so that's what I did to my project. And here it is, you guys. I love how awesome this piece turned out. Now, as you probably all know, I'm a little bit obsessed with the succulents from the Dollar Tree, but they just embellish this piece so wonderfully. Now you can choose to paint or stain any color too, and you can make it your own and just have fun with it. You all have to let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. Now this project is a modern long tray. Now we're going to need 2 of the wood crates from the Dollar Tree and some wood tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. So starting off with those tumbling tower blocks, we're going to start by joining 4 blocks together. Now 2 will be along the bottom and the other 2 will be at the end in the upright position. So first of all, just join your 2 pieces at the bottom first, and then add one of those other ones sitting upright to form an L, and make sure this piece is sitting up on its side. So it'll kind of look like a U shape when you put these together as shown here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make 4 of these 4 block sets, and here they are all ready to go. Now the next set of blocks we're going to join together is a stack of 2. Now we're going to be making 4 stacks of 2 blocks. So now we can start building our support base for our tray. So I'm going to try to space apart those U shapes, and I'm going to be putting a block in between each of them along with one block on each end as shown here. So now all I'm going to do is start joining these together. Now I'm going to press them firmly in the center, making sure they meet in the center where that seam is. Again, I do say that you use regular wood glue for this, since this will be a supporting project. I'm using wood hot glue, but use wood glue if possible. So here's all those pieces joined together, and now you want to put two pieces on the end upright to form that L shape. So I'm putting one on one end and one on the other with that glue, and just press and hold it until everything is bonded. Now this support is great as it is, and this will actually work stopping here, but I wanted to add some feet to mine. So I'm taking those double block sets and I'm going to put one on each corner at the bottom. So again, I'm going to add my glue there, and I'm just going to press very firmly in place to make sure that those legs are equally spaced apart in each one of the four corners. Now here's the piece all put together, but I noticed I did want an additional double block set to put in the center just for added support. I just want to make sure that this is as sturdy as possible. And there you go, this piece is all assembled and put together. So now I'm just taking my two crates and test fitting it, and everything fits perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is take those crates, and I want to go ahead and paint these. I'm going to be using my black acrylic paint to paint my crates. Now you can stain these as well, but I decided to flip it around and do black crates this time. So I'm going to go ahead and apply one nice coat of that black acrylic paint to the inside and out of both of my crates. Now I'm also going to paint 4 of some scrap craft sticks to cover up the holes on the inside as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at this time too. Now just let those completely dry. Now while those are drying, I'm going to take my stand. So I'm going to go ahead and take my antique wax and add a little bit more there and mix it with some water, so I'll be able to go ahead and just stain my little frame this beautiful brown color. Now I'm going to apply it with my paintbrush all over. I'm going to start by adding it on the top and then flipping it over and adding it to the bottom. Now here's my piece all nice and stained, ready to go. You can do any touch-ups if needed, but let this sit to completely dry. And now both of our pieces are all nice and dry, and here's the frame, and here are the 2 crates. Now the first thing we're going to do with the crates is we're going to go ahead and take those scrap pieces of craft stick that we painted and go ahead and just put 2 dots of glue on either side of that hole and press that craft stick right over it. It should cover up that holes. Just do that for all 4 of those holes, and once those are all covered, you can go ahead and just put those crates together inside that holder, and that is it for this project. Such a beautiful result. And there you have it, a beautiful modern piece to display just about anything that you want. Now all I did was add some greenery, but you can add candles or anything that you like. Now you guys, these DIYs were so fun to create today, and I hope that I have inspired you. Now I do love each one of them, but let me know in the comments which one of these was your absolute favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, if you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.